Hey everyone, my name is Benas, and in today's video we're talking about how to track your personal expenses using Google Sheets. The template that you're gonna see in this video is actually the template that I personally created, that I personally use in my, day-to-day life. So if you want to use this exact template as I do, I have a link down in the description below where you can open this Google Sheet and then copy it so that you can manage your own personal finances. But before we begin, if you're new here, consider subscribing down below. I make a lot of content regarding personal finance, investing, and entrepreneurship. However, let's begin. For this video, I have my laptop right here, and I'm gonna be taking you through every single sheet in this template and explaining it how it works. So let's get started with the first sheet, which is summary. And this sheet, all of the sheet is actually done automatically for you. So once you actually input your personal expenses and your income for that month, this particular sheet, you don't need to actually change it. It's gonna change automatically because I've added all of the formulas right here. I'm gonna explain how to add your income and expenses a bit later, but this is a summary sheet where you can see your income, then is your taxes. However, with taxes, I didn't put anything because it very differs from one country to another. So I kind of left it blank, as you will have to add your own formula here in order to calculate it, what kind of taxes you need to pay from your income. Next, and probably the most important and the most fun column, is income after taxes. This is the exact amount of money that basically you have earned in that particular month. And if we scroll down below, you can see that there is a specific graph for this column, which is called income after tax, and it basically just visually shows you how much money you're earning from one month to another. And then if we go back up, there is also an additional savings column, which is how much money is left after taxes and after all of your expenses. So it's basically your savings. If you're not spending all of your income, this is what's left. If actually spend more than you earned in that particular month, then as you can see in June, that particular cell turns yellow and it shows a minus that you actually overspent that month, which is a great way to track your own behavior and see that you never exceed your particular income at any month. And then the last column we have is total expenses. Again, all of these numbers are added from another sheet, which you can actually see at the top is monthly view, and then specific cell name H14 in this case. And if you go through, each of these are different based on that month. Then I also want to say that there are totals for every single column. So total expenses, income, taxes, income after tax, and savings. So you can just see the totals if you need to. And that basically summarizes the first sheet. Let's move on to the second, which is expenses. Again, this sheet is all filled automatically. You do not need to lift a finger or do anything here. Everything is calculated by all of the formulas in this sheet. This first one is actually exactly the same. It's total expenses, which are added there automatically, but then all of the expenses are broken down by each specific category: restaurants, utility, shopping, entertainment, subscription, and you can add your own categories, but then again, you will need to actually, as you can see, add of all of those formulas above. So you need to know a little bit about Google Sheets and how it works in order to sort of make changes to it. However, if you see a particular category that you don't really use, you can change the name of that particular category, and that would be it. And then if we move down further, again, there is a graph of total expenses just to see how much you spend each month. And then there is another graph of expenses by category to see which categories take the most amount of money from your account. The next sheet is monthly view. And here, again, everything is filled automatically. You don't need to fill anything, but it gives you a better breakdown than summary or expenses column. In here, specifically what you can see is different income streams. So for example, if you have a salary, probably that's gonna be the same each and every month for the most part. However, if you do have other income streams, and I actually just named them income stream 2, income stream 3, and 4, you can change the name of these to reflect your own incomes, but it just really, again, shows how easy it is to know where you're earning the money, what makes you money, and how much in total particular income stream makes you per year. Then there is a very simple formula which calculates total income. Then there's total expenses, which are added from each different sheet of the month, which we'll get into very soon. Taxes, this is the one column that you actually need to add yourself and add the formulas to start calculating that. And again, savings is just shows the same thing, is how much you save per month compared to your total income and how much you spend in expenses. And now we're done with all the automated sheets. Now all of the sheets are breaking down by month, and this is where I actually need to go each and every single month and then update that information. So if we go down to the first one, which is January, right at the bottom, you can see it's very simple. On the right side, it's your income. On the left side, it's your expenses. So let's start with the income. As you can see, you need to write your date, amount, description, and I added also notes in case you need to clarify something to remember later. The thing here to remember is that dates, actually, I don't really use that. Once I invented this spreadsheet, I thought that it would make sense, but it doesn't really provide any information as I don't have anything any formulas related to specific dates. Then the next one is the amount, which is pretty self-explanatory. Just write the amount of each different income stream you earn. And description is very important, because what you're gonna write in the description, that income is gonna be associated with what you write in the monthly view. So if I write salary, for example here, 1,500, then in the monthly view, it's gonna be reflected here. And if we take as an example, if I delete salary and write anything else, then in a monthly view for January, it's gonna show 0. And it's not gonna be reflected in any income stream. So now January is actually 0 because the name is different. So what you write here on monthly view, so which right now I have salary, income stream 2, income stream 3, income stream 4. These are the namings that you have to write. So if you change for example, salary to, income, right? And then, of course, it messes up the whole sheet, but just as an example, in January, then we also write income. We go back again to monthly view, and then we can see, yep, it's reflected here. So basically what you write here is very important, as this is how all of the formulas are calculated and how they work. And then we also have notes, where this does not have anything to do with formulas, but if you need some clarification just to add some notes, I left it there. But let's move on to expenses. And expenses, these are pretty well kind of manual. The way I do it is I do have a subscriptions tab. So this is important because this is calculated automatically for every month. If we go back to the last sheet we have here after December, you can see that there are subscriptions. And subscriptions are here because I don't want to repeat that same transaction and write it down in Google Sheets every single month. If I know that I have Spotify, Netflix, iCloud, or some other monthly expenses that don't really change and they are fixed, I can just write them down here. Google Sheets adds it all up. And then, as you can see, it's $290. We go back to January and it's $290, and the formula is taken from the subscriptions sheet. Now, a very important thing is that if, for example, after 6 months you add a new subscription or you remove a subscription, it actually changes across all of your months. So what I do usually is, when I see this particular subscription and when the month ends, I actually copy that amount and replace the formula with the amount. And that way, if I change now the subscription sheet, it's not gonna change the previous months. and this is very important to keep track of it all. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. You just add the amount of what you spend here, and you can just add the new rows on the side, just adding one row below and just adding additional stuff here. And you can have as many rows as you want or as you please. The way I use it is I do use Revolut, which already has categories. So after each month I can see how much I spend on restaurants, on entertainment, and so on and so on. Because if I would need to write every single transaction, well, that can actually take a long time. And I mean, it depends on you, but for me, that's too labor intensive. I don't want to spend that much time on adding each and every transaction. So what I do is I take those categories from Revolut, and if Revolut says that I spend, I don't know, $300 on food that month, I just add food and then select a category of groceries in the Google Sheet. This way, the majority of my personal expenses are actually already categorized, and I only need to add those extra which were done by a different card or by a different bank. But these are okay to add because the biggest portion of my day-to-day expenses go through Revolut. But if you don't know what Revolut is, I'm gonna leave the link here, or the link is in the description if you wanna check it out. And then the last column is categories, and this is where you can select different categories. And these are very important because depending on a category you select, if we go back to our expenses sheet, this is how all of the categories are made. So if you select a particular category for that particular row, then it adds it all up automatically, and then you can see a breakdown how much you spend on restaurants, utilities, shopping, entertainment, and so on. However, if you want to add your own categories or remove categories from the current category list, then you have to go to the last sheet on Google Sheets, and it says categories. Then you just add or delete or whatever, change this list as much as you want, because all of these categories are taken by Google Sheets automatically on every single month. And that is basically it. The sum of expenses and income is added automatically. As you can see, all of the formulas for all of the rows here. Also, all of the new rows that you create were going to be included here. And then every single month you have to do the same. If we take a look, I just added sort of everything as an example. Fill this sheet with just random things of subscriptions, taxes, rent, and just random incomes to make it more clear for you how it works. So you can go through different months and see that some have more, some have less, different income streams. And always you can check out the formulas that I have in there. And if you're proficient enough with that, you can change as much as you want. Again, the link for this template is in the description below, so check it out. However, please do keep in mind, I'm not some expert in Google Sheets and everything like that. So I made it myself, so there may be some mistakes or formulas or whatever. And if you change, especially if you change something, it may sort of not work that well. So please know that you do need actually some Google Sheet knowledge, at least basic knowledge, to sort of navigate and see how this particular sheet works. If you enjoyed this video and if you think this particular template is useful, please drop a like down below. It really helps out this channel. And if you want more videos about personal finance, investing, entrepreneurship, sometimes even tech, I do make them regularly. So subscribe down below, tell all your friends about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.